Time Walk with Me.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Time Walk with me. Today's deck is a wacky one. It can win in a number of ways, but the ultimate goal is to win with Battle of Wits. This enchantment makes you win the game if you have 200 or more cards in your library at the beginning of your upkeep. How the heck are you supposed to get that many cards in your library when you can only build a commander deck with 100 cards? Well, Claire de Lune, Joy Sculptor. This commander makes all tokens that you control into cards, as well as tokens and everything else they are, and it establishes that simply by entering the battlefield. The effect doesn't depend on her sticking around, so tokens can be returned to your hand, put in your graveyard, or even shuffled into your library. That's how this deck wins with Battle of Wits. It creates tons of tokens, kills them, and then Feldon's Canes them into my library. Metallurgic Summonings. Every instant in sorcery comes with a free XX creature. Reef Worm. This creature gets bigger and bigger the more it dies, and with Claire, the tokens can stick around and come back. The Council of Four. This helps you draw and gives you night tokens. Mirror Sigil Sergeant. With this, you double your 4/4 tramplers every turn. Tura Kennerud, Sky Knight. Every instant in sorcery comes with a free 1/1 soldier. Alondra Sky Dreamer. You get flying token creatures with this one. Faramir Prince of Ithilien. This sets up a win-win situation for you. Either you draw a card or you get 3 1/1 human soldiers. Monastery Mentor. This one is nice because its token making ability is triggered by non-creature spells and not just instants and sorceries. Chrome Host Seed Shark. Again, this creature's ability is triggered by non-creature spells. Hoofprints of the Stag. This card goes well in a blue and white deck because both colors are very fond of drawing. Clone Legion. If you have a better board state than everyone else, you can target yourself and double all your tokens and your token makers. Access Denied. This is nice against an Eldrazi deck or any deck that uses high mana cost spells. Court of Grace. Being the Monarch is nice and all, but it makes no difference if you're trying to win through Battle of Wits. Prava of the Steel Legion. This guy makes tokens that are bigger than he is. He makes all your other tokens like that too. White Sun's Zenith. This can repeatedly give you a nice army of 2/2 cats. Stormherd. I love this card. In fact, it is a huge part of this deck's goal to get the deck up to 200 cards. With a high enough life total, you can get out a ton of Pegasi, and then, even if they all die, you can end up shuffling them from your graveyard into your library. The only catch is that you have to bring a lot of pre-sleeved cards to use as tokens. It's a bit of a logistical nightmare, but it's just crazy enough to work, and perhaps funny enough for a pod to allow it. Rabble Rousing. This can create wave after wave of 1/1 Selesnian citizens, and if a few of them make it through, your number of dudes will compound until they are unstoppable. Dollhouse of Horrors. If your tokens die, you can exile them and make better tokens out of them. Song of the World Soul. Duplicate your favorite creature tokens over and over with this. And Stolen Identity. This can give you a copy of an opponent's creature, or one of your own, whatever you want. Congregate. This is a great life gain spell for a deck that puts out so many creature tokens. Lembas. Food that recycles itself sounds a little gross, but it's good. I promise you. A Johnny's Welcome. This is another life gain card that was made for a deck like this. Beacon of Immortality. Again, I love this card. Play it before Stormherd to help you win in the Battle of Wits, and since it shuffles itself back into your library, you can potentially play it a few times during the game. Dazzling Reflection. This saves you 2 times from a big bruiser by blocking its damage and gaining you life equal to its power. Even if it does go through later, it has to hit you 2 more times to do the damage it would have done in 1 attack. Sanguine Sacrament. This is another life gain card that recycles itself. Speakeasy Server. It's a mini Congregate that only gives you life for your own creatures, but you'll hopefully have a lot of them. Core Celebrant. A Johnny's Welcome on legs. These serve 2 functions in the deck. One is the usual, to prevent opponents from gaining too much headway. The other is to get your vast army of tokens into your graveyard. Divine Reckoning, Doomscar, Hour of Reckoning, Depopulate. This one is a little one-sided because the Battle of Wits win con isn't the only way this deck can win. Devastating Mastery. This would destroy Battle of Wits if it's out when you cast it, so what you'll probably want to do is pay its reduced cost and cast Battle of Wits after it resolves. These cards get your dead tokens into your library. Felden's Cane, Campfire, and Thran Foundry. Springleaf Drum, Ashnod's Altar. This is another way to get those token creatures into your graveyard if you've opted to go for Battle of Wits. It also helps you trade smaller tokens for bigger tokens created by White Sun Zenith. Patriarch's Seal. This enables you to use Claire's second ability more than once during your turn. Relic of Legends, Arcane Signet, and Wayfarer's Bauble. Ellen Harbreeze, Busybody. You can have your pick of many cards from the top of your library with her. Rumor Gatherer. This ability will go off a lot, giving you a lot of card selection and a bit of extra draw. Skullclamp. This one is a classic and an obvious include. It costs a few bucks, but I've been seeing it in a lot of precons lately. Inga Rune Eyes. If this dies along with the rest of your creatures during a wipe, you get 3 cards. Pursuit of Knowledge. This is my favorite white draw card. If you forego drawing just 3 cards, you are rewarded with 7. I even use it in a deck for just its first ability. I don't know of any other card that lets you opt to not draw a card. Sure, there are cards that make you unable to draw, but only this one makes it your choice. Clever Conjurer. This basically becomes a copy of Claire as long as she's out. Aven Wind Guide. If you want to win by attacking people with tokens, this will help a lot. Naru Meha Master Wizard. Late enough in the game, this could double your Pegasus tokens, or quadruple your life instead of doubling it with Beacon of Immortality. It could also salvage a countered board wipe. Intangible Virtue. This helps make tokens both more offensive and more defensive by ensuring that an attack doesn't leave you open to reprisal. Personal Tutor. This gets you any of the devastating sorceries that are in this deck. Vizier of Tumbling Sands. Here's yet another Claire to give you back your dead tokens. Test of Endurance. This is a cheap alternate win con if you feel like winning that way. Opposition. This might dissuade your opponents from attacking you, or perhaps persuade them to target this with Disenchant. Teferi, Timebender. Go ahead, untap that Claire again. It doesn't take that long to get you an extra turn either. Deafening Silence. This is in here just to be annoying. Eidolon of Rhetoric. This is also here just to be annoying. Valor and Akros. This can end up making all your creatures ridiculously huge. Aven Mimeomancer, or Mimomancer, whatever. This can turn your little 1/1 dudes into flying 3/1 dudes one at a time. Path to Exile, of course, Swiftfoot Boots, of course, and Vesuvan Shapeshifter. I have a bunch of these, so I like to pepper them into any deck they might be good in. Island and Plains. These lands tap for white mana in the case of Plains, and blue mana in the case of Island. Be sure that you turn them a full 90 degrees so there's no question as to whether or not they're tapped. Lazy tappers are super annoying. Sea of Clouds, Castle Vantress, Reliquary Tower, Terramorphic Expanse / Evolving Wilds, Port Town, Prairie Stream, Skycloud Expanse, Temple of Enlightenment, Great Hall of the Citadel, Minas Tirith, Rivendell, Teferi's Isle. This was my rare in my first pack of Mirage back in 1996. Tranquil Cove, Vivid Creek, Vivid Meadow, Seachrome Coast, Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Temple of the False God, and Crystal Grotto. This doesn't enter the battlefield tapped, and it gives you a free Scry 1. There's no reason not to run it in any deck. So there we have it. That is my Claire de Lune Joy Sculptor deck. What do you think? Tell me what you think, and I'll see you next time.